how do you guys do this?
I entered into this country as a corporate employee. Today, I'm a full-time seasoned land developer. We are doing an over 300 million plus worth of land development.
300 million?
300 million plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, financial background இருந்தனால இவங்க வந்து இப்ப 1000 acres வாங்கிட்டாங்க. அப்படியா இல்ல வந்து நீங்க வந்து knowledge வச்சிட்டு நீங்களா பண்ணீங்களா?
I come from a very humble and a middle class family. I didn't come to Australia with a golden spoon. The most important thing is we lived in Strathfield in a single bedroom unit for 7 years.
Wow. With the daughter, 3 பேரும் நீங்க?
With the daughter.
உங்க அப்பா என்னதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வீடுக்கு கொடுத்திருந்தாலும் that is a minimal amount. ஆனா அங்க இருந்து 1000 acresக்கு வந்து உங்களுக்கு காசு கொடுக்கல. So நீங்க அங்க இருந்து you have developed your own thing.
I was able to see a huge gap in land in Australia. That's the game changer.
Right.
Within how many years you purchased your house there?
6 years.
6 years. The current trend is they're able to buy between 1.5 to 2 years.
Wow. Your recommendation personally would be buy your first நீங்க வாழ்றதுக்கு ஒரு வீடு, அப்புறம் இன்வெஸ்ட்மென்ட்ஸ், அப்புறம் அதுல இருந்து வளரும்போது அதுல இருந்து பேங்க் கிட்ட இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா லோன் அந்த ஈக்விட்டியை டிராப் பண்ணி நீங்க லேண்ட் வாங்கன்னு சொல்றீங்க. அப்போ இது வந்து only ரிச்சுக்கான கேம் மட்டும் தானா?
There's a customer of mine.
Okay.
Right. He could not crack a white collar job and he ended up working as a cleaner in Westfield shopping center. With his salary, he saved and purchased one house. He decided that his life will only change with real estate investment. He ended up buying 10 houses. 10 houses?
Cleaner to 10 houses? I can't believe that this is possible, to be honest with you.
They go through the right process of FIRB approval.
இந்த FIRB ன்றது என்ன?
Foreign Investment
Review Board.
Review Board. Thank you.
அது நானா அடிச்சு விட்டேன். பட் அது ஓகே கரெக்ட் தான்.
FIRB.
too crazy. 10 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி எல்லார போலும் இவரும் ஒரு ஆர்டினரி இமிகிரண்டா தாங்க கண்ட்ரிக்குள்ள வராரு. ஒரு நார்மல் ஜாப்ல சேர்றாரு. ஆனா ஃபாஸ்ட் ஃபார்வர்ட் 10 வருஷம் இப்போ எங்க இருக்காருன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க பிசினஸ் வந்து 300 மில்லியன் வர்த் ஆஃப் ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. 1000 ஏக்கர்ஸ் பிளஸ் வாங்கி இருக்காங்க. பல ஆர்டினரி ஆஸ்திரேலியன்ஸ்க்கு வெல்த் பில்ட் பண்ண ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. சோ ஹவ் வாஸ் திஸ் பாசிபிள்? என்ன பண்ணாரு? எப்படி வேலையை விட்டுட்டு பிசினஸ் குள்ள போனாரு? அவரோட ஜர்னி எப்படி இருந்துச்சு? இன்னைக்கு மார்க்கெட்ல அவர் பார்க்கக்கூடிய விஷயங்கள் என்னென்ன? அவர் சொல்லக்கூடிய சீக்ரெட் ஏரியாஸ் என்னென்ன? இப்போ நீங்க ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி ஆஸ்திரேலியால வாங்கணும்னு நினைச்சீங்கன்னா இது எல்லாமே நான் அவர்கிட்ட பேச போறோம். With that, let's get into the conversation. A quick intro about yourselves to the audience and then we'll go from there.
Sure. My name is Sathya Gala. I migrated into this beautiful country in 2015 with my wife and daughter, and I entered into this country as a corporate employee doing recruitments, and today I'm a full-time seasoned land developer, and we do land developments under RPD, which is Rudra Projects and Developments.
Right.
We are doing an over 300 million plus worth of land development.
300 million?
300 million plus.
Wow.
Right. And we do have stock for next 10 years. We are doing across 10 different locations in Australia, Jay.
Cool. So that's very, very impressive numbers. And then in the last 10 years, Satya, but the question that comes to my mind, right? So even I came in 2015. I'm still working in corporate. So when I look at people like you, right? So how do you guys do this? Like, you know, what made you move or how you went from being a corporate employee into business? Let me call it business.
Yes.
And then specifically also property investing and all of that, right? Because anybody who wants to come into the country, who are already here or who wants to come in, many of us, so we stick to what is comfortable. Okay, I want to take a job and then I want to continue with that for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years and retire. So what made you choose a different part? I'm sure it's risky. How did you manage to take that?
Yes, I came in along with the family in 2015. But when I came in, I was married. We had a daughter who was 5 years old. So as you know, in Australia, small little things where she did not need to go to daycare. One big thing I could think of to answer that specific question is the land development and the real estate has been running in my blood back from India too.
Okay.
My dad is a very successful banker. He retired as a banker, but throughout his 40-45 years of employment, he always have involved himself in multiple land transactions. Wherever land acquisitions was involved, my dad was involved in some shape or form.
Right.
A, I believe it's in our DNA. B, I came into Australia thanks to my wife. We came in as a permanent residence.
Right.
Family life was set. If you come in 2015 as a student, it's a different story.
True.
It's a different story. Right. Number 2. The third one is people recruitment is my favorite gig. That's why I was able to survive for 15-16 years in that.
Okay.
9 to 5 doing the recruitment was kind of an inbuilt, and still I had some time to think and capacity to think and connect back to the blood going into my body, which is always in real estate.
Got it.
Another very critical connection or the point which I have to confess is in life it depends on whom you meet majority of the time, and I very accidentally met a person. I can definitely drop his name. His name is Kamal. He was a banker with ANZ at the time. I purchased a normal ready to go investment property in Melbourne, and I met him as a client, and he was a banker. And this was in 2018 or 19. Through Kamal by then itself was in this country for a good 20 years. Through Kamal, I was able to see what a successful immigrant is able to do, but at the same time, with all respect, no offense to anyone, I was able to see a huge gap in land in Australia. G.
Okay.
Right? That's the game changer.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Was it only the technical information knowledge that you had, or did you also have financial backing which led you into this path? அது ஏன் கேக்குறேன்னு அடுத்த questionல சொல்றேன். But this will be very useful for people because I don't want people to just think, okay, financial background இருந்தனால இவங்க வந்து இப்ப 1000 acres வாங்கிட்டாங்க. அப்படியா இல்ல வந்து நீங்க வந்து knowledge வச்சிட்டு நீங்களா பண்ணீங்களா?
I come from a very humble and a middle class family.
Right.
As I said, my dad was a banker. What we believed as a family is anything we save, we put it bank in land. No, I didn't come to Australia with a golden spoon.
Got it.
Number one. Number two, if that was the case, with all respect, we would not even migrate to Australia.
Okay, fair enough.
Right?
Yes.
Right. If our lands were so valuable back then, there's no need to. The most important thing is we lived in Strathfield in a single bedroom unit for 7 years.
Wow, with the daughter, 3 பேரும் நீங்க.
With the daughter. A full 1 BHK. It's smaller than a 1 BHK. But while we were living in Strathfield apartment, in the first 2 years itself, I purchased my primary residence in Kingsland. So the concept or the point I'm trying to bring in is, it's not the wealth that would have brought me to here.
Got it.
But the way we see things as a family. And I'll be honest, yes, I did get help from my dad. So maybe this is the best time. I've always been saying this to people. I'll tell you when and where. When the first deposit of the house was to be made, yes, he did support me with the deposit. But the most important thing is, once the first deposit is made to the house and we purchased the house, and I was so happy that he was here on the day of auction. The next day itself, his statement is, good, you got the house, stay in this 1 BHK, give this one to rent, let the rent pay the mortgage, and start looking for an investment. So if at all, if I have to give a credit or to pinpoint to something, it's not the golden spoon or the money which has been supported, it's that attitude. And the thinking. And then my mom literally said, he does not even have a dining table to sit in, he's living in a 1 BHK.
No, thank you for that. நீங்க அந்த honesty is very very, I really appreciate that. You've told it as it is இல்ல. வேற எப்படி wealth build பண்ணலாம் அப்படிங்கற thought process வந்து is very very admirable.
That's the ecosystem which helped me to grow. The credit goes to everyone. My wife, my daughter, my in-laws too. I'm lucky to have those that particular ecosystem at my home where they would help me to build wealth. And also, Jay, when it comes to Kamal and his network, the biggest thing I learned from the network is not about how to spend money, but the gap that they are not buying land. They were buying one house after the other house, house after the other house. On a very jovial note, 5 families can't go to one picnic spot together. How are these guys buying an asset thinking that they would be able to
divided property,
divide or do something? Number one. Number two, I've also noticed all the 5 people, investors only, because they have a 9 to 5 job. So I said to Kamal that any given day, brother, I find a land I'm going to buy. I'm only going to buy that particular land which I can own by myself. I will subdivide it and sell. I had no clue about anything. I just had an aspiration, and I had a very good buddy, Kamal. We just started over there.
Got it.
And then his commitment was, on any given day you buy the land, Satya, I'll be your first purchase.
So, இப்போ எனக்கு என்ன question வருது அப்படின்னா, இப்போ வந்து இங்க ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி பத்தி I want to talk. Anybody from top level corporate to anywhere, நான் இருக்கிற லெவல், எல்லா லெவல், ஊபர் ஓட்டுறவங்க எல்லாருமே வந்து one thing that they talk about in Australia is property investing. So, இப்போ ஏன் வந்து property is a big thing in Australia? That is number one. Second வந்து இப்போ different types of property investing என்னென்ன இருக்கு ஆஸ்திரேலியா?
Jay, fortunately or unfortunately, Australia has got property as a leading game. The way I see it is, it's the only asset class where you put in 10%, 90% would be funded by the public, which is banks. Number two, any property, I believe every property has a right buyer. The first thing people invest in real estate is because there is a security and safety in Australia. Any property is good, it just depends on who is buying, when they are buying, what are they using to buy, what is their plan to do with. Based on few things, there are, I believe personally, and I still believe that every property is good. If you go and talk to a real estate agent, Jay, no matter whatever you say, your risk appetite, whatever you say, your wishes and everything, he'll listen to you for 30 seconds with no disrespect to real estate agents. They'll say, I've got these 3 listings. Take it, leave it. You take it, you go and meet a buyer's agent. They will listen to your with things. They would have some idea about few areas.
Right.
And then they would say, hey, we believe this is the best. Also, unfortunately or unfortunately, like me, anyone and everyone talks about real estate in Australia.
Right.
And they say they're experts. What was missing and what I started doing for Kamal and his circle is I was doing a recruitment style of directing them to buy assets. That particular activity, I named it as real estate product development. That is also an inspiration for me to keep my company name as RPD.
Right. Okay.
RPD is Rudra Projects, which is Lord Shiva.
Right.
Plus real estate product development.
Got it.
There's a town in South Australia, I'll give you an example,
Right.
which has got 600 population.
600 people.
600 people.
Okay.
The purchase, there was a house which was leased to a government agency. It was $300K at the time. This
Okay,
is in
$300,000. Okay.
$300,000. This is in 2022. In 2022, there were house and land packages, or at least old houses, sold in Melbourne for $400K. If I'm a seller's agent for Melbourne, I would talk until cows come home.
Yeah.
That Melbourne is the best. With these two assets in place, let's say there is a couple who has got a primary residence, who has got couple of investments already done.
Okay.
They have got 1 or 2 lands that will give them the capital gains. They have got 400K borrowing to borrow.
Seri.
The last 400K. They won't be able to pay anything from the pocket, out of the pocket, on a monthly basis.
Okay.
So for that family, probably I'll put you in a spot. What do you think is a good option? Is this a 600 people town or a Melbourne which is 400K?
மெல்பர்ன் தான் சொல்லுவேன்ல, பிகாஸ் மெல்பர்ன்ல எப்படி இருந்தாலும் ரெண்ட்டுக்கு ஈஸியா போயிடும், பெரிய சிட்டி.
The reason is there, Jay. In Melbourne, for 400K, you're not going to get a new house. You're going to get much older house than the smaller town.
Okay.
Because it's a big city,
Seri.
400, you get a small one.
சரி.
The rent, there is a gap from the mortgage versus the rent. With this 600 people population or the 300K worth purchase, the government is giving them 8.5% return. In the sense that rent is 8.5% return, which is 24,000 per year.
Why are they paying so much rent even in the small town?
The smaller the town you go, Jay, the more rent you get, the less capital gain you can expect.
Okay, so 300க்கு வாங்குறீங்கன்னா மெல்பர்ன்ல 400க்கு வாங்குறீங்கன்னா which gets to 500 first ன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா probably Melbourne gets first.
Not probably.
100% Melbourne gets. Okay. இப்போ எனக்கு என்ன क्वेश्चन வருது, எனக்கு ரொம்ப கியூரியஸா இருக்கு. எனக்கு பர்சனலி இப்போ நான் ஒரு லேண்ட் வாங்குனதே கிடையாது. ஓகே, எங்கேயுமே வாங்குனதே கிடையாது. நாங்க வாங்குனது இங்க ஒரு வீடு வாங்கி நாங்க மார்கேஜ் கட்டுறோம்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. இப்போ நான் லேண்ட் வாங்கணும்னா நான் வந்து எவ்வளவு பெர்சன்டேஜ் நான் அதுல போடணும், பிளஸ் வந்து எனக்கு ரெண்ட் எதுவுமே வராது. சோ அப்ப நான் மார்கேஜ் கட்டிக்கிட்டே இருக்கணுமே. அப்போ வந்து won't it be a loss for me if I'm going to buy a land rather than buying an old house?
I have to put in a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor.
Yeah, both are not.
Both are not.
Do your own research, but
again it goes back to that real estate product development methodology. When a family just starts their investment journey, I personally believe you should first sort out your primary residence. Go and buy as many established or house and land packages you can. Old homes.
Keep already simple. Constructed
old home. You might come across a land developer like us. This estate is near Adelaide.
Yeah.
It's in a place called Tailem Bend. So we are releasing 30 lots in next probably 6 to 8 months. Once the lots are ready, we will release the lot and a buyer can buy it. At the same time, a builder will come and say, I will build a house for you. So it becomes a house and land. So the buyer will buy a land from us and the builder will build a house for them. It becomes a house and land. So the flow is primary residence, get it sorted. After that, in investments, either buy an already existing established homes, that's the right word, or even buy a house and land, which is good too.
Okay.
Because you buy the land today, eventually in next 6 months they'll build the house. You need to pay the monthly mortgage for the land and for the construction part for 6 to 8 months. Once the house is ready in 8 months, you'll get rent. That's the favorite. I believe personally this category of houses will grow or double in 10 years.
Okay.
It is a very organic growth. Once that customer has a primary residence, established homes, investment, everything done, then maybe if you live for a year, each of your existing investments will have equity in it. Your primary residence, you bought it for $1 million, for example.
Okay.
In 2020, for example.
Okay.
And now we're talking about 2026, for example.
Okay.
Right. In the 6 years, your 1 million would have gone up to 1.4 million.
Okay. Value would have increased by 400,000.
Would have value increased by 400,000.
Seri.
So that 400,000 is an equity. The investment houses, in this case, let's say they purchased 3 investment houses.
Seri.
From 22 to 2026.
Okay.
Every 2 years they have purchased a house.
Okay.
Let's say the second investment home in 2022 they purchased for 500. Now today became 600. So there is a 100K.
Okay. Are they logic
for second home and third home. value where your existing homes have increased, we call it as an equity.
Okay.
You can withdraw that equity.
Okay.
And that will be given to you into your bank account as cash.
Cash.
Using that cash, buy land. Answer to your question, how can someone buy land?
Right.
Without
Money.
Banks. This is how you make money.
Okay.
And this is how you invest. Then the question is, when you pull out that equity,
Right.
that is also a loan.
That is also a loan.
You need to pay
Interest.
monthly interest.
Repayments.
How do you pay? That is why our logic of you need to have couple of houses that would pay more rent than you pay to that particular property.
Got it.
Will positive cash flow.
Got it.
So if you have a positive cash flow from the third investment home, just to make up the story,
Right.
plus your savings.
Got it.
So you got the cash from the bank. There's a way to pay the money
Yeah.
monthly,
Yeah.
your mortgage for that
Yeah.
particular land, which you have pulled from the equity,
Yeah.
and you got the land.
புரியுது.
Okay. If you buy the right land at the right time,
Yeah.
it will grow in 2 to 3 years significantly. Okay.
பேஸ்ட் ஆன் யோர் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் நீங்க பார்த்த இந்த ஒரு நீங்க இப்போ ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 1000 ஏக்கர்ஸ் பார்த்துருக்கீங்க. ஸோ நிறைய எஸ்டேட்ஸ் டெவலப் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க.
Okay.
உங்களோட லேண்ட் ஜென்ரலா ஆவரேஜா இஃப் somebody is buying it for X amount, how many X's that it becomes to multiplies 2 to 3 yearsல?
I have done a transaction in Ballarat in 2022.
Ballaratன்றது எங்க இருக்கு?
That's in Victoria.
விக்டோரியா.
Okay.
மெல்பர்ன் இருக்கு ஸ்டேட். ஓகே.
Near Melbourne.
ஓகே.
We purchased a land for 350K. By 2024, it became $1 million.
3x almost in how many years சொன்னீங்க?
2 years.
2 yearsல 3x. Wow. உங்களை நான் முன்னாடியே இன்டர்வியூ எடுத்துக்கணும்.
I'll also give you one more news. From 2024 to 2026, it grew only 300, 200, 250. So now it's only
So growth has slowed அதுக்கப்புறமா. பட் ஆனா அது ஆல்ரெடி உங்களுக்கு மில்லியன் வரைக்கும் போயிடுச்சுல. அதுக்கப்புறம் ஸ்லோ ஆறது வந்து
correct. But the point I'm trying to bring out is, let's say someone gets inspired and say, let's go and buy in Ballarat.
இப்போ போய் வாங்கினா மேபி.
Or even in 2024, if they would have gone,
Got it.
they would have purchased it for $1 million, for example. Hypothetically, if I would have sold at 1 million.
Got
They
it.
would have got at 1 million.
Got it.
Today it's 2 years. It's 1.2 million. I understand, Jay, everyone likes to have one straight answer.
Yeah,
But unfortunately,
understandable.
it's not that way.
Got it.
Right.
எனக்கு இன்னொரு क्वेश्चन இப்போ என்ன வருதுன்னா, இப்போ நீங்க your recommendation personally would be buy your first, நீங்க வாழ்றதுக்கு ஒரு வீடு,
Okay.
அப்புறம் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ், அப்புறம் அதுல இருந்து வளரும் போது அதுல இருந்து பேங்க் கிட்ட இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா லோன் அந்த ஈக்விட்டியை டிராப் பண்ணி நீங்க லேண்ட் வாங்கன்னு சொல்றீங்க. அப்போ இது வந்து ஒன்லி ரிச்சுக்கான கேம் மட்டும் தானா?
See, first of all, I'm not recommending anything. I'm only saying what I believe in.
புரியுது. Yeah, your own personal.
My personal belief.
Yeah.
Okay? So whatever I've explained so far is my personal belief.
Got it.
The truth is, you need to have some money at
Some money. Yeah.
That's fact. The other also hard fact is, it's a bit more easy for a permanent resident to make money because bank supports them more than a temporary resident visa. Temporary resident wants to buy a 500K worth of home. They will give it based on their salary, but they expect the 4-year visa. They would make the repayments calculated within 4 years. So the bank expects the guy to pay within 4 years.
அது practically most
That
of
is
the people
practically
impossible.
For a permanent resident, if someone can save some money and get their first primary residence, which is becoming harder and harder day by day, but if they can manage and do that, the second investment itself, the deposit you're talking about, the first house is done, primary residence is sorted, you bought it for 800K, it has gone up to $1 million, and then you want to buy a first investment home, which is worth of 600K. Banks will give you 540K just on that new house. You need to keep 60,000 from your pocket. That 60,000 you can pull it from your primary
ஏன்னா அதோட ஈக்விட்டி நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி வளர்ந்துரும்.
from that equity. So technically, by signing the papers, which is a loan, I'm not which is a loan, but it's not coming from your pocket.
புரியுது.
First one, maybe a small help if I can tell people, because what I really enjoy doing, what I'm doing is not just buying 10 or 12 estates for RPD.
Right.
It's having, or maybe being a part of, at least we are part of 50 to 60 purchases every year, Jay. One family will do a purchase as a minimum. So we meet more than one family a day.
Yeah.
Right. So what I would recommend is, if you find a primary residence, let's say 800K again, 10%, 80,000, you have to save it.
சேவ் பண்ண தான் வேணும்
Or 15%, which is 100K, you have to save. You buy that.
Yeah.
When you buy, again, I'm encroaching a lot into someone's personal space. What I believe is for the same 800k, you might get a townhouse which is well built, right? A small townhouse on a 200 square meters one. For the same 800k, you can get a 600 square meters block house on a 600 square meter block,
Yeah.
which is a bit older than the new one.
New one.
If you can sacrifice for a couple of years on the look and feel, you pick up a lot which has a potential for granny at the back.
கிரானி ஃபிளாட் உங்களோட கார்டன் ஸ்பேஸ் பெருசா இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா நீங்க அதுல வந்து கவர்மெண்ட் ரூல்ஸ் ரெகுலேஷன்ஸ் படி நீங்க வந்து அப்ரூவல் வாங்கிட்டு நீங்க கட்டலாம். சூப்பர் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் கான்வர்சேஷன். ஸோ இப்போ எனக்கு என்ன கொஸ்டின் வருது அப்படின்னா, இப்போ நீங்க வந்து நிறைய பேர் யூ வுட் சி இங்க இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸ், நார்மல் பீப்புள் எல்லாருமே, வாட் ஆர் சம் ஆஃப் த மிஸ்டேக்ஸ், கீ மிஸ்டேக்ஸ் தட் யூ see people repeatedly making?
First mistake I could think of is generally buyers want to have everything in one deal. Looking for the most maximize or the best deal is the biggest mistake.
Yeah.
Because the more you look for the best deal, there's nothing called the best deal. Majority of the time they end up not buying. Trying to optimize your money to the maximum extent to get the maximum outcome.
பெஸ்ட் டீல், இப்போ நான் காசை போடுறேன், என் காசுக்கு எவ்வளோ ரிட்டர்ன் வருதுன்னு தான் நான் பார்ப்பேன். ஸோ அப்போ நீங்கள் பெஸ்ட் டீல் பார்க்காதீங்கன்னு சொல்லும் போது பெஸ்ட் டீலே பார்க்காம நான் ஒரு ரியல் எஸ்டேட் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் எப்படி பண்ண முடியும்?
I'm not saying not to look for the best deal.
Got it.
Definitely go for the deal, but do not try to have everything in that deal. Maybe I should have said, do not look for a deal which has everything.
So when you say everything, நீங்கள் எதெல்லாம் சொல்றீங்க?
One is, I've seen many people say, you know what, Sathya, I would like to buy a property which gets capital gains in 2 or 3 years, positive cash flow. I need to buy it under 600k. I would like to have the house in one of the capital cities.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I would like to have a house size of minimum 200 squares.
Right. Okay.
With a land size of 700 square meters. When you want everything
Okay.
in one deal and you're not giving away anything, you'll never get a deal at all.
Got it.
Which means you'll be away from the market. The second biggest mistake, Jay, which I made while talking to you, I feel likely, one of their friends would have purchased in a suburb at a 500k price. The property would go to 600 or 700.
Yeah.
For some reason, they would have not purchased at the time. And then they will be looking for one more suburb because they think that this is done. Doing a purchase just based on what someone else do is the second biggest mistake in my view. My critical point there is, do not copy strategy which works for your friend or your neighbor.
Fair enough. Perfect. That's very good insight because என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுமே நிறைய பேர் அந்த மாதிரி யோசிச்சிருக்காங்க. இப்போ வந்து இங்க ஆஸ்திரேலியால நம்ம like we discussed before, ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி பத்தி பேசுறதுக்கு pretty much everybody talks about property. So one question that comes to my mind is, so how would they select between இத்தனை பேர் ஆஃபர் பண்றாங்க, buyers agents அவங்க தான் பெஸ்ட்னு சொல்றாங்க, RPDல நீங்க வந்து tailored approachன்னு சொல்றீங்க. So நீங்கலாம் என்ன மேஜிக் பண்றீங்க பின்னாடி? How are you able to assess எது grow ஆகும் எது grow ஆகாது?
Whenever we look for a place to buy stock for RPD, our assessment is totally different, Jay. We need to pick up a place which will be liked by 50 more families. 4 years back, when we went to Mount Gambier, we saw this piece of land which is 35 acres. When we saw that land, our vision, I went there with my other business partner Ram, and when we saw the place, we saw the vision that if we do 35 lots here, it could be 50 lots, we will be able to sell to 50 more people. So from an RPD perspective, we would not be looking at what Satya or Ram would be interested or whatever we like. But if you talk from a selection criteria for a mom and dad,
Yeah.
for the individual, I find it a bit more simple because you don't need to please 50 people.
So you would have seen so many people, right? You'll be working with so many people now. I still don't want to believe that this game is only for rich, right? Like, you know, you might have seen ordinary people like me and other people, like, you know, who like, you know, kind of built wealth. Any real life examples that you might be able to share, which will be very useful for me personally and then also for our audience?
Whenever anyone asks me about a good example,
Yeah.
or a motivation example,
Yeah.
one thing really stands out first for me is,
Right.
there's a customer of mine.
Okay.
Right. He's been in this country for 20 to 22 years approximately.
22 years, wow, okay.
During those years, which is 2000 to 2004 when he first came in, getting a white collar job was a very hard. Salaries were not high too, and obviously the cost was also not high.
Okay.
All right. Why I find him very inspirational is he could not crack a white collar job.
Okay.
He got settled with whatever in terms of work wise, and he ended up working as a cleaner in Westfield shopping center.
Cleaner in a shopping center.
Nothing wrong, as you know.
Yes.
Here we got the
Yeah.
beautiful thing is blue collars get paid more sometimes than white collars.
Everybody is seen equally.
His wife also started working with a very small salary-based job. Together, my best remembrance is they were not making more than 90 grand or 100 grand per year.
Both of them put together less than 100,000.
Together.
Okay, which is tough, which is very tough.
Which is very tough.
Yeah.
To give some context to your viewers, at that time, the IT people were making between 80 to 90,000 per person.
Per person.
As a salary.
Okay. So
this couple together were making
that.
100K. He came in as a student, but that's okay. By the time he got settled and he did all those
job and everything.
Marriages and everything. And everything.
Yeah.
With his salary, he saved and purchased one house.
Okay.
A primary residence.
Yeah.
And then he decided that his life will only change with real estate investment.
Okay.
Whatever way I explained to you how we can multiply the houses.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. In a similar and in fact in a better way.
Yeah.
All right. And time was also on his side. He ended up buying 10 houses.
10 houses. Cleaner to 10 houses.
Cleaner to 8 to 10 years.
10 years, 10 houses.
10 houses.
I can't believe that this is possible, to be honest with you.
He came in 2002. For the first 7-8 years to settle, to complete the master's education, marriage was done.
Okay.
Around 2010, he started his journey. By 2020, he had 10 houses.
Wow.
He left his job and he became a realtor. So he buys and sells houses.
Wow.
Again, the reason why it's inspirational to me is he had every reason not to get into a business which is a very cash-rich or cash-driven industry.
Right.
He worked against all odds in his favor. He made it into his favor. That's my top-notch favorite.
Wow. This is very impressive. I'm lost for words also. I'm trying to process that. 10 வீடு வாங்குறது is not an easy task. I appreciate that. அது நம்ம சொல்லி தான் ஆகணும். 10 வீடு வேணா விட்டுருங்க. 3-4 வீடு. How do we do that?
The main reason is 2010, if you say there's a house in Melbourne for, let's say there's a house in Sydney for 700K. Your point is today if you have to buy anything, a new house like that, it's going to be 1.4, 1.5.
Correct.
But at the same time, 2010, banks were not willing to lend millions and millions the way they're doing it now.
Okay. So debt is a big thing. Yeah,
okay. Banks have become more, in my view,
right,
a bit more reasonably flexible. Within how many years you purchase your house, Jay?
6 years.
6 years. The current trend is they're able to buy between 1.5 to 2 years.
Wow. So one of my cousins who lives in Melbourne. So he was telling me that what they do is after they bought a couple of houses, I think. But after that, what they do now in terms of investing is that once they get 20-30K saved, so then they buy a plot of land in India, somewhere in rural areas, etc., etc.
Again, Jay, it's a tailored approach. If someone is settled here, like your friend, who has got an investment home and a primary residence, just to add spice to that, if their parents back home do not have a residence, then obviously you have to buy. But from a pure investment perspective, one big question I would ask myself if I'm doing it is, if I buy land, will my next generation able to manage that asset in India?
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
The honest answer on a different angle is, at least Australia cannot give you the returns what India gives.
Okay.
In terms of returns.
So India is higher, you mean?
India is much higher. If the asset still remains with you.
Okay. என்னடா இங்க கிணத்தை காணோம் ஒரு காமெடியில வரும்ல அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு லேண்ட காணோம் அப்படின்றது. Okay. Cool. When it comes to buying in Australia, right? I know Australian PR and citizen straightforward path வாங்கலாம். இப்போ டெம்பரரி விசால வராங்கல்ல, ஸோ என்னோட கொஸ்டின் என்ன, அவங்களால வாங்க முடியுமா? அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து இப்போ நியூசிலாண்டில் இருக்கிற பீப்புள், இந்தியன்ஸ் நம்ம ஆளுங்க நிறைய பேர் நியூசிலாண்டில் இருக்காங்க. இப்போ நம்ம நிறைய பேர் பார்க்குறோம், பேசுகிறோம், அவங்க வந்து நியூசிலாண்ட்ல இருந்து ஆஸ்திரேலியாவுக்கு மைக்ரேட் ஆகிறாங்க. ஸோ அவங்களாலையும் வாங்க முடியுமா? நியூசிலாந்து பிஆர் ஹோல்டர்ஸாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, நியூசிலாந்து சிட்டிசன்ஸாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, இந்தியன்ஸ். தட் இஸ் இந்த ரெண்டு பார்ட் ஐ வாண்ட் டு கெட் சம் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ஃப்ரம் யூ.
ஆல்வேஸ் citizens and permanent residents are treated differently in a very nice way,
right,
where the banks would give them 30 years loan. When it comes to your temporary resident,
right,
they'll give the loan,
right,
but they try to cut it down to 5 years or 8 years, whatever the visa extent it is.
Right.
New Zealand passport holders are treated like a permanent residence here,
so they can buy.
Right. There are a couple of good friends of mine,
right,
customers of mine,
right,
who are very well settled in India.
Right.
They buy properties in Australia.
Without a PR, without a citizenship.
Without a PR, without anything. They are high net worth individuals. They go through the right process of FIRB approvals.
In the FIRB என்றது என்ன?
Foreign Investment
Review Board.
Thank you.
அது நானும் அடிச்சு விட்டேன், பட் அது ஓகே, கரெக்ட் தான். இப்போ நியூசிலாண்டில் வந்து ஐ வாண்ட் டு ஃபோக்கஸ் அ பிட் மோர். ஸோ இப்போ நியூசிலாந்து ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி மார்க்கெட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எனக்கு இருக்கிறது வெரி பேசிக் நாலேஜ். ஸோ ரொம்ப பீக்ல போச்சுன்னு சொன்னாங்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து ஏதோ சேஞ்சஸ்லாம் பண்ணாங்க, டாக்ஸேஷன்ல பெரிய டிப் இருந்துச்சுன்னு சொல்றாங்க. இப்போ நியூசிலாந்துல இன்னொரு ஆர்டிகல் நம்ம என்ன பார்க்கறோம்னா, நியூசிலாந்துல இருந்து தமிழ் மக்கள் அண்ட் எவ்ரி இந்தியன்ஸ் லைக் வந்து they want to migrate to Australia once they get their citizenship ன்றத பார்க்கறோம். So அப்போ from your perspective, would you say it is a better value And return on investment, if New Zealanders start investing in Australian property market than New Zealand property market.
Yeah, in fact, from what you said itself,
Yeah.
right? It seems I would also say the same thing.
Right.
It's better to invest in Australia. But again, Jay, investment is always tailored
approach.
tailor-made. If there's a family living in New Zealand, let's say they've got a good job and everything,
Right.
And they haven't purchased anything,
Right.
I would again recommend them to buy a primary residence first.
In New Zealand. Okay.
In New Zealand.
Yeah.
Whether it's appreciates, depreciates, it's a secondary thing.
Got it.
Not many traders who would invest in stocks might agree with me.
Yeah.
Because there are certain level of investors who would just go by ROI.
No, thank you for all of these insights. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
எனக்கு வந்து ஒரே ஒரு லாஸ்ட் ஒன் ஐ வாண்ட் talk about some of the projects that you're working on. So உங்களோட எஸ்டேட்ஸ் இப்போ நீங்க டெவலப் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க இல்லையா? So எந்தெந்த ஸ்டேட்லலாம் பண்றீங்க? ரஃபா ஒரு ஐடியா ஃபார் our audience to know எந்த மாதிரி நீங்க ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க அப்படின்றது ஒரு ஐடியா மட்டும் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா that will be very useful.
So this is our residential estate, which is both are the same.
Right.
Which is in Mount Gambier.
இது ரெண்டுமே மவுண்ட் கேம்பியர். Oh, same.
It's the same, which is Gambier Lifestyle Estate.
Okay.
All right. The name of the estate is Gambier Lifestyle Estate.
Right.
Each block is close to 1 acre block.
Okay.
Right. And we sold 60 to 70% of it already.
Okay.
Right. And it took us 4 years from the day we saw the land to the completion of the project. And we are selling each lot around like 280K plus.
280,000 starting from.
This is our other estate which will start the civil works maybe next month or two.
Okay.
This is near Adelaide.
Okay.
Near Taylor Bend. The reason why we choose this project is there is a 300 million motor racing park 3 minutes away from this estate. Right. Australia has got only one motor racing track, Jay.
Right.
It's called the Bend Motor Park.
Okay.
And that's why we named this estate to
the Bend.
The Bend Estate. Right.
இது வந்து என்ன size and
85 lots.
80 lots.
80 lots, 700 square meters.
So and what is this priced at?
We haven't priced it yet. Most likely we'll start at 280.
Oh, similar. But that is 1 acre and this is 7,000 square feet.
700 square meters.
Square meter, approximately 7,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And இது வந்து நீங்க அடிலைட்ல இருந்து இது வந்து எவ்வளவு தூரம் இந்த மவுண்ட் கேம்பியர்?
Sorry, this is Mount Gambier.
அது வந்து roughly
that's around like 4 hours away from Adelaide.
Okay.
So one of the vision we have in RPD is we do not want to buy in the capital cities.
Right.
If you take Mount Gambier, it's a nice town with 30 to 35,000 population.
Right.
But including the nearby villages, a footprint of 50,000.
Right.
There's a $500 million. There's a factory which makes $500 million revenue in Mount Gambier every year.
Wow.
They have a factory.
Okay, nice.
Mount Gambier pumps 80% of your timber to Australia.
Wow.
So we believe in those kind of towns which are non-mining but self-sufficient. Mount Gambier is one among them.
Oh, good to know. Superb. Thanks, Sathya.
Thanks,
Sathya.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time.
Very much.
Thank you. So உங்களுக்கு இந்த வீடியோ பிடிச்சிருக்கும்னு நான் நம்புறேன். உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தது வேல்யூபிளா இருந்துச்சுன்னா டெஃபினட்டா கமெண்ட்ல சொல்லுங்க. உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது क्वेश्चंसனாலும் கமெண்ட்ல கேளுங்க. சத்யா கிட்டயும் நான் கேட்க முடியும். டைரக்டாவும் ரீச் அவுட் பண்ணி நாம டவுட்ஸ் எதுனாலும் கேட்டுக்கலாம். உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது சப்போர்ட் ரியல் எஸ்டேட் பர்ச்சேஸ்லனாலும் you can talk to him. பட் நம்ம இது வந்து ரெண்டு பேருமே நாங்க வந்து we didn't do this from an angle of advertising or marketing. So we both are not experts when it comes to immigration or visas or so அதனால எங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு பர்சனல் chat எனக்கு அவர் பர்சனலா தெரியும். So we wanted to have this chat and then share whatever we could. So அதனால do your own research and உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது questions please reach out. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Take care guys.
Bye.
Bye.